we actually decided to refinance our houses to fund the startup of our company. And the reason why I wouldn't recommend this to everybody is because I didn't have any kids at the time. I didn't have a wife, and I had a girlfriend that was, that would eventually be my wife, that was helping me through that time period financially. But it put a lot of stress on us to really make sure that we were successful with the launch of our product and our company. But ultimately, it did end up being the successful path to get us the funding that we needed to grow the company.
Cool. Well, going a little back in time, can you tell us about, you mentioned that your brother was a real estate agent, and I guess some struggles he had kind of inspired everything. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. So what we found with a lot of the small residential real estate brokers who are our current customers today, we work with about 1,300 of them across the U.S. and Canada. But in the early days, my brother, who actually lives 2 doors down the street from me in the same cul-de-sac, he and I were talking one day, and I was saying, "Where are you spending your marketing dollars?" And they were buying a half-page ad in a prominent newspaper, or a prominent magazine, and spending $1,500 a month on that. And that was a significant amount of money. And if he were to invest that into a product like ours that we were thinking about developing, we were going to be able to generate hundreds of leads a month for him. And so using that advice that we learned from a problem that my brother had really was the catalyst for a pivot that we made that really was the idea that made BoomTown very successful.
Very cool. Well, last question. You kind of touched on this in your talk as well, but if you could give, I guess, a newcomer any tips on starting their own business, what would it be?
Yeah, I think for any startup, there's a lot of different challenges that you have to think about. But one of the things that I see a lot of startups do, that don't do, that they should be doing, is investing time and energy into researching your market and really understanding the trends that are going on, really understanding the competitive landscape. You should really leave no stone uncovered in your research, and try to figure out where your industry or your target segment within your industry puts value on a product, and try to make sure that you're putting out the best product that you possibly can to serve the needs of that customer with that value proposition.